I'm way too up on my mic. Welcome to the Game Lair. I am your host Carmilla, but you can call me Cammy. We're continuing our series on dungeon crafting, and today I'm going to show you all of the ways that I thought of to get into this hobby for as cheap as possible. So, to show you my examples, let's head over to the table. You can admire my hands. And move shit out of the way from the last video. So, in order to get into crafting, you do not need to spend a full $50 like I did, that I talked about back in the first video. That $50 is all just onboarding costs. I'm pretty sure that that box of stuff is going to carry me through this entire project. We'll reassess as we go and we'll figure out how much the whole thing is going to actually cost. But we'll figure that out later on. I'm pretty sure that $50 is going to last forever. It will do everything that we want to do for this project, probably other projects, whatever. So I'm going to show you, however, you don't need to spend $50 to get into this hobby. You can go with two-dimensional tiles, which would be something like this. In order to make this, all you need is scissors. Where'd my scissors, a pencil, and a ruler. This is probably only about $5 worth of stuff right here. You just measure out what you want to do, mark it with the pencil. There's your tile. You're good to go. You don't even need double corrugated for this sort of thing. If you're going super cheap, double corrugated is a lot rarer than single corrugated. I'm assuming that your materials are basically just garbage. So that's it. That's your tile. You can throw down a bunch of these. I haven't really figured out how to handle walls for this, but there's no reason that you can't do something like these mock-ups, or this is the next step up. In order to add to this, you can add some PVA glue to your loadout. This stuff was really inexpensive, so you measure, cut, and then just use the PVA to glue the walls on. It's really very simple. The PVA, I had to leave it for a few hours in order for the pieces to not fall apart. These went on real ramshackle. Not that one, that's the one we put on last episode. These went on really ramshackle because I was just kind of doing it quick. Single corrugated also, it tends to wobble, so it's a little, I found it a little harder to hold straight and not get weird like this. Double corrugated has a lot more of a surface area. I think that one will be a lot easier to work with and keep things kind of straight up and down. But, and I cannot overstate this, how much it does not matter. You'll have fun, your friends will have fun, it doesn't matter.
Look, don't worry about it.
Single corrugated is 1/8 inch thick, and as you can tell here, there is some overlap, but when making the, because this wall piece bumped this over 1/4 inch, all I would do is just chop that off with some scissors. It's easy enough. If you don't like the pencil lines, you can add a marker to your loadout, and then just use the marker to trace out the lines. You've got your tiles. It looks a lot cleaner. You can also, if you really want, you can use the marker to kind of black out the sides, which, let's see what that looks like real quick. I figure since we're doing all this together, why not test out these methods? So yeah, that looks way clearer. You can see that from quite a ways away. So let's black out the sides too. This isn't working quite as well as I'd hoped. Oh no, I just got to go over it a couple of times. We'll only do the flat side and the corrugated side so we can get an idea of what it would look like if we did all 4 sides. Yeah, it's not bad. you know, you get a little bit of, that's not the side we did. You get a little bit of distinction, kind of cleans up the edges a little bit. Now that bleeds over a lot because I wasn't careful. Yeah, this stuff bleeds into the cardboard quite a bit, so maybe that part is not a good idea, or use something different than this cheap-ass marker. So that part's a little bit of a fail, but the lines worked out just great. If we go with one that has walls, we can do the same thing. I would recommend taking your time with it so you don't get these lazy-ass wavy lines. You can really see the problem that I was talking about in the last episode of why the 1-inch grid gets really crowded really fast. You can see the discrepancy in the size that you get, especially this corner one. Spin around so you can see it better. Especially this corner one that has an 1/8 inch taken off 2 sides of it. You're never going to fit a model on that. If you're going to go this method and add your own walls, I definitely recommend putting the lines on first so that you don't get lines up on the walls, which somehow I got a little bit on that one. But I also went quick. Let's see what it looks like if we color in the tops of these walls. It's probably going to bleed and look like shit again, but let's see. I'll try to be more careful this time. I think it's still going to bleed, but we'll see. Well, there's almost nothing to mark there. The outside doesn't look too bad. It's no, it's bleeding like crazy now. It's not bleeding on the inside though. Now it's bleeding on that side right there. Whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
Probably not the best methodology, but whatever. If you want to step it up the next notch, you can move on to painting. For that, I would recommend a gray, because you can paint the whole thing with gray and then do the black lines over it. I don't know how durable it will be once this stuff hits the cardboard, so that you'd have to test that out. If you're going to go that method, I would definitely recommend a lighter gray so that the black marker shows up better through it. I don't know how well it will look through this darker gray. And acrylic paint always dries a lot lighter than it looks when it first goes on. So that's what I would do to level up that much. If you want to go like the next step up and you want to go with double corrugated, you can start adding craft knives. If you want a base coat, you can start adding spray paint. You can feel free to level up as you go and what you get comfortable with, and you'll figure out what you like doing. I'm still trying to figure out what I like doing, but I just kind of want to do the whole thing and see how it goes. And there's not much kind of instructional online about using cardboard for this sort of craft outside of Wylock's Armory, which is one of the best cardboard crafting channels out there. If you want to kind of level up more, you can add, you know, a hot glue gun to your arsenal. This hot glue gun, interestingly, was less than $3, and I got 100 glue sticks for a little over $7. So 100 glue sticks plus the glue gun, less than $10. It's a surprisingly cheap hobby to get into. I wasn't sure kind of what to expect, and we'll still see as we go on how much this works out. But these are some ways that you can. Actually, let's go back over to the camera. I originally forgot to mention glue-on alternatives, which I don't have a demonstration for this because my printer is a laser printer and it doesn't have a very good detail. I also don't have any glue sticks. But the way it works is you print out either something that already has a grid or a texture that you'll then add a grid to. Kind of in the same way that I showed you drawing on grid lines, you would just add your own grid lines. If you get something that already has grid lines, print it at 125% to get a 1 1/4 inch grid. If you're only doing 1-inch grids, don't worry about it. But you take that piece of paper, cover it in glue stick, and then glue it on like you would glue anything. The reason I recommend a glue stick is I found that PVA glue, because it's water-based, it warps and distorts and doesn't like to glue flat with paper. That's just been my experience. I don't know as far as gluing on cardboard. I haven't done this particular technique. These are some ways that you can get into crafting really easily and inexpensively, so I hope it was an educational experience. I'm going to have fun with this project. Next time we're going to talk about the project itself. We're going to talk about our goals, and then we'll talk about our goals and our plans and so on and so forth. And then we will, after that, move into actual construction and see what works best for us. Learn as we go. I'm rambling. I've been recording for over an hour. I'll see you next time. Bye. Oh, check out right here for a playlist of all of the dungeon crafting I'm doing. Bye. It's also insanely hot in here. It's 80-something degrees outside, and I can't run the air conditioner while I'm doing this. Plus all the lights. It's nuts. Anyway, bye.